Podcast live here on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel throughout social media. We're going to get you out of here before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. That's what we do here on the Drive Thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's deliver live free picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And deliver those winners. Our professional handicappers here at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place will meet the cappers and we'll get right to the picks. Let's say hello to Javon. Javon, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Tony? How are you?
It's going great. Looking forward to this college basketball. Watching a lot of hoops today. We'll see Brian. Brian, what's word?
Oh, great to start the college basketball season again today. Definitely looking forward to it, diving into all the great hoops action. So, hopefully get some free winners out there tonight.
Let's take a look. Indeed, we'll say hello to Joey. Joey, what's going on?
What's going on, Tony? Christmas came early today. College basketball is back. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. College hoops back, indeed. Lots of games after like Stanford's going to close it out here, dribbling out 85-62 against Denver on one of the early finals right now. Say, Rod, what's happening?
Not too much. Was watching some hoops and shoot some NHL videos. It's a busy day, man. Busy day. So much college hoops action. And it just continues right into the night. Love it.
Absolutely.
It's that time of year. If you're not a sports fanatic, well, you're definitely not going to like this time of year. But as we are, we love this time of year. So much sports action. Little overload. Morning when you get up and you're like, oh, here we go. Get at it. Let's go. Let's get these games. Let's get some more winners. Let's find some nice gems out of this boatload of schedule we got going.
That's right. Let's get some winners from this card. Let's get it Let's get underway. We'll start here with the NFL Monday Night Football tonight. Buccaneers and Chiefs look like rain in the forecast. 90% rain, not much wind. 63 degrees in KC. The Chiefs here are laying 9, although you'll find some 8.5s in a place. In the sharp book, you'll find an 8.5. The total sits 45.5. So let's get this one underway here with Brian.
Well, I couldn't get anywhere as far as premium on a spread pick, but as far as free picks go, I think I'm going to lean to the Kansas City Chiefs here. People have commented about their offense, but I think the best thing about the Chiefs is their defensive play. Tampa Bay down some guys tonight. I just think they're going to have trouble scoring on Kansas City. I think the Chiefs take this one by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, from Brian. All right, move on over to Javon.
Yeah, there's injuries on the Bucks, that's for sure. But there are injuries on the Chiefs side as well. I think when all said and done, even with the rain, I think the over's in play. It's 45.5. The Bucks has been a sieve on defense as of late. I believe they're on a 5-game overrun. So I'm just gonna roll with that. It should be a get-right spot as far as the Chiefs' offense is concerned because their offense hasn't looked up to snuff this year. Patrick Mahomes, he's having the worst statistical year of his career. So I think, like I said, it's going to be an offensive get-right spot. And the Bucks are going to be able to contribute on their end as they should be down, for most, if not all, of this game, based on what the two rosters are looking like right now. So give me the over.
Over there from John, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, so I like the Chiefs laying the points here. It's a high number, but I think it's worth laying. The Bucks have really struggled against AFC teams this year, and they've been in a rut. Their last 4 games, losing 3 of those 4, and each of those losses they've allowed 30 or more points in each of them. Chiefs have dominated NFC teams, and they're really starting to kick it into gear right now. They've held teams to just 19 points per game at home, and they've scored 27 on average their last 3. Bucks are 1-2 against the spread on Monday night, dating back to last season, and the Chiefs are 4-2 against the spread as a home favorite between 3.5 to 9. So I like the Chiefs here.
Chiefs there here from Joey. Let's take it on over to Ron.
And for me in the spot, I like the under at 45.5. A little bit of rain. I like a lower scoring game here in this one. You look at a little spot between teams when the total is 42.5 and 49 points after 4 straight games where 50 total points or more were scored. 39-11 to the under in that one. And then another one, you look at the Chiefs when they fail to cover a spread in the previous game. It goes under again, 8-0 to the under, dating back to 2022. It's just one of these primetime under spots. Chiefs and unders go hand in hand for me. That defense steps up. As Tampa Bay, we know they're shorthanded on offense, and going against the Chiefs D, that's definitely going to be slowing up Tampa in this one. Not a Baker Mayfield guy. I think he has a rough game here tonight. And Bucks do not do their bulk of the heavy lifting in getting over that total. As the Chiefs defense is the best part of that team. It isn't Patrick Mahomes and that offense like people are talking about. They're getting it done with defense, stepping up, slowing teams up, and I think they do the same thing here again tonight. And you look at that interception prop for Patrick Mahomes, I think it's a plus money. They're almost baiting you into that thing. I don't think he throws a pick tonight. I think Patrick Mahomes, 0 interceptions here tonight to end his streak of getting an INT in every game. Take the under and no interceptions for Patrick Mahomes tonight.
Yeah, from Rod here, I'll tell you, look, I'm going to look at the over in this game. The line tells you that Tampa Bay may be in chase mode in this game. Looking here at as John was saying, this Tampa Bay defense has been poor right now. Over their past 3 games, gave up almost 6 yards a carry, 70% completion rate, nearly 8 yards per pass attempt, giving up 33 points, over 5.5 yards a carry. Pretty bad here for this Bucks team right now defensively. The Chiefs are putting up 27 points a game over their past 3, and completing at a high rate here, 70%. I look at this situation with the Bucks in chase mode. Pretty much, I think KC will have a little nervous taking the spread here because, again, Tampa Bay on chase mode with Baker Mayfield picking up a lot of these, garbage yards, garbage points. I could easily see a backdoor coming in. And, of course, Kansas City has a tendency to take their foot off the gas when they have leads. And this is a situation here where you could see some late scores here from the team trying to chase the Chiefs here. So I'm with the Javon here. I like the over in this game, over 45.5. The Tampa Bay in chase mode here with second half points. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we get ready here for the NBA. We'll move over to this 15-game card. Of course, these games will be getting within 5 minutes of each other, 15 minutes of each other. So let me get my NBA score on screen up here for you guys. It's the NBA, so let's see what we'll start off here with 15 games. We'll do 2 at a time. We'll start here with Bucks and Cavaliers. Cavaliers going to lay 9, total 226.5. Next up here on our rundown will be the Warriors and Wizards. Warriors now up to 11, total 234.5. Always got to check the injury news in the NBA, so let's take a quick look here. Looks like Giannis, we can now confirm Giannis out here. He was questionable earlier. Giannis out, Bolshamp out, Middleton out for Milwaukee, Bates, LeVert, Strus, Tyson, Wade out. So LeVert's the big name here out for Cleveland. Curry in the lineup tonight. So Curry healthy go. That's why we've seen the line move up here. Melton out, Wiggins probable. Washington side, Bagley, Bay, Brogdon, Kuzma. These are rotational guys out for Washington. So we get this one underway here with Brian.
Yeah, the other day I was one of the few people arguing the Milwaukee Bucks at home. And it, of course, didn't cover for me. I think I'm going to jump ship here, take the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know it's a big number, but I've seen the Cavs cover 5 of the last 7 with the Bucks. Bucks just aren't right. They're even worse than the Edmonton Oilers there in the NHL. But I think in this case here, I think Cleveland comes and beats them by double digits tonight.
There from Brian.
Why are you bashing the Oilers? They just won 2 games.
They're
playing defensive hockey, lights out defensive hockey over the last 5.
Here we go.
We're losing tonight, though.
There we go from Brian. We move on over to Javon.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for the Bucks. I would really like to, back the Bucks, find a way, but maybe something in game if they're down, double digits. Dame Lillard lit them up for 41 points. It's just a situation where without Giannis, he's the straw that stirs the drink over there, and I just can't back him, if he's not on the court. Last year there was a couple spots in prime time where, they came alive without him, but just can't do it against a hot team in Cleveland. If he was on the court and this line was similar, it was at 7 or 6 or whatever it was earlier, then I would have took a look. But yeah, just can't go against this freight train that is the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. Maybe later in the season when they start playing back down to earth, but right now they're in another stratosphere.
There we go from Javon. And next up, we'll move on over to Joey.
Yeah, so I like Golden State laying the points here against the Wizards. Warriors show they have a lot of depth even without Curry on the court, and now they're getting him back, so I definitely like their odds here. Wizards are traveling back from Mexico City. They're 4-15 against the spread, dating back to last season, following one or more consecutive unders. And Golden State is 5-2 against the spread as a road favorite from 6.5 to 12. I think Golden State wins and wins big here tonight.
And there we go from Joey. Up next, we move on over to Rock.
Yeah, I like the Bucks this morning when Giannis was going to play at 7, and now that it's at 9, it's like and Giannis isn't going to play. You need Dame to go off for like 50 plus to cover that 9. I think tonight if you're on the Bucks side, and I don't think I could be doing that. So give me the under, even at what is it 227? It's come down to from the 230 that it was. I got to go with the under 227 there in that one. I'd be hard pressed to get up and over that number. And then the other way with the Wizards, it's at 11 in spots now. Give me the Wizards plus 11. I think it's just one of those spots that, sure, the Wizards did come back from Mexico, but they got whooped in Mexico. So were they really motivated to play that game? Or were they looking forward to trying to give it all here versus the Warriors here? Everybody's going to be on the Warriors. It's just one of those spots. I'm going to take a shot here that we see one of those late second threes that are useless. It's not, and the Warriors win the game. They win the game by 9. The Wizards cover this big giant number.
Yeah, from Rod, I'll tell you what I think here about these games here. I will look here at the under as well here with the Bucks and Cavaliers. Bucks really last in offensive rebounding, putting up 108 points on the road. Cleveland, a really good defensive team, holding teams to 44% shooting. The Bucks struggling for the 3-point line and the free throw line, so I'll go under there. I'm going to look here at the Warriors laying the points. You're looking at this Washington team struggling from the field, give up 126 points at home and 49% shooting. This Warriors team with lots of depth. A lot of these players are trying to battle for minutes, and as long as they produce, they're going to play. That's really what that's really what the head coach said. So second in defensive efficiency. I don't mind laying points with good defensive teams, right? Second in defensive efficiency, lay points with good defensive teams. So I'll go there with Golden State in this one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. Let's get ready here for the next series of games from this 15-game card from the NBA. And the next ones we will cover will be here. Lakers and Pistons. The Lakers laying 7, total 225. We got the Celtics and the Hawks. The Celtics 10, a total of 232. Quick look at the injury report. Looks like Koloko, Vanderbilt, and Wood here out for LA. Davis, Reeves, and Russell, probable. Russell upgraded from questionable to probable now. Klitman and Thompson still out. Backup guys for Detroit. On the Boston side, Jaylen Brown out. Porzingis, we know, is out. And for Atlanta, still a lot of supporting cast members out. Bogdanovich, Bufkin, Hunter, DeAndre Hunter there, as well as Krejci, Lundy, and Zeller out there for Atlanta. We get it started here with Brian.
Yeah, I probably sound like a broken record. I'm always taking the Detroit Pistons, but like I said, they're like the Baltimore Orioles in baseball a few years ago. I think Detroit's got a good young squad. We've seen them cover 4 of the last 5 games. I think when they're getting close to around 2 possessions, and in this one they're getting 7. So at home, Lakers' 4th game of a 5-game road trip. I'm going to take the Detroit Pistons here plus the points. I think they keep it respectable.
So looking for that road fatigue to hit in there from Brian. We move on over to Joan.
Yeah, we're going to roll with the Celtics in this one. It's just a situation where we have a Hawks team who got the W against the Pelicans. Now they're on the second night of a back-to-back. Not really the reason why I'm back in Boston, but you know, Boston, they did lose a couple games last year to these Atlanta Hawks in dramatic fashion, you know, being up big and then ended up losing. You know, so they're not going to want to let it slip in this one, even without Jaylen Brown. You know, as long as you got the JT on the court, you know, they're in good hands. I expect a solid effort from the starters, the bench, you know, and take advantage of this porous defense of Atlanta.
Yeah, from John. Next up, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, I'm with Devon here, but I'm taking the Celtics on the first half. Short and simple here. The Celtics are obviously one of the best teams in basketball. They've they rank first in offensive rating, and Atlanta ranks 3rd to last defensively here. I don't know. I'd rather just get a quick bet here on the first half, get in and out.
Yeah, from Joey. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
Yeah, and these ones I'm going to take the over between the Lakers and Detroit. It's just Lakers I think can run and gun in this one, and usually tired teams just shoot at will, and not a lot of run and gunning, so they just take more shots. And if those shots start falling, well, watch out, we're going to fly over this total, which is I think what happens here tonight. Give me the over 225.5. I see it at. Yeah, give me the over 225.5 there. Lakers, Detroit. And the other one I think goes over the total too. Atlanta. It's not broke, don't fix it, as Tony Brown says. It's 7-0 to the over. Make it 8-0 to the over. Atlanta doesn't play any defense, no matter who's on the court. So I'll just continue to keep riding that over there with in Atlanta games.
There from Rod. I'll tell you what I think about these games. I'm going to look at the plus points here with Detroit Pistons. Lakers 27th in defensive efficiency, give up 118 points per 100 possessions. Pistons have their issues offensively. They do play at the second slowest pace in the league, but Lakers here have their struggles having their struggles defending, as we said, giving up 51% shooting on the road. Detroit holding teams at 47% shooting, but the Detroit Pistons are the second best rebounding team in the league. Look at the Pistons here plus the points. Also take the dog here with Atlanta. Atlanta has shot the ball pretty well, defended it well, holding 44% overall. It's that pace that takes these games over. Boston down 2 scorers here without Brown and Porzingis, so I'll look at taking the points in that one. All right, let's continue here on the drive. I think we get ready for the next series of games here from this NBA card. And next up will be, we've got next Grizzlies and Nets. We've got the Grizzlies now up to Grizzlies 4.5, total 223. Kings and the Heat. The Heat laying a point, total 224. We'll take a scan here of the injury report. We got the usuals out for Grizzlies here. Bain, Gigi, Jackson, Kennard, Smart, Spencer, Williams, Concard, doubtful. On the Nets side, Bogdanovich, Sharp, Simmons, and Watford out. Clowney and Martin are questionable in this one. And in the Kings and the Heat, Carter, Werder out here for Sacramento. Robinson out here for Sacramento. And we got a late out here is Jaime Jaquez, who showed up on the injury report early this afternoon. Jaquez out for Miami. So let's get this one underway here with Brian.
Yeah, out of this grouping, weak grouping here, but if I had to pick one, I would take the Miami Heat on the money line. You got the Sacramento Kings last game of 4-game road trip, off an embarrassing loss in Toronto in overtime. Miami 1-2 at home. These are the type of games the Heat have to have if they want to be a playoff contender. So at this line here, I'll take Miami on the money line.
Yeah, from Brian, we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, I was kicking myself in the ass that I didn't make that Toronto money line play because I felt it. I just, on the premium side, I just took the points. But it would have been a boondoggle if I had did it the way I was supposed to. But that being said, I'm gonna roll with the Brooklyn Nets. This is just a team that continues to cover. Even though yesterday didn't they get smoked by Detroit?
Yeah, but they were a favorite.
That was them, so
don't lay points with the Nets. Just don't lay points with the Nets.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. As underdogs, it's another story. Sometimes depending on the situation, I like backing teams who got smoked on, and are coming right back the next night. So I think this is one of those spots where they'll play hard, and get the job done. So home dog, I'll take it.
Home dog from Javon. Next up, we move on over to Joey.
I personally don't like any of these games, but if I had to take anything, I'd leave the points with Memphis. Nets did me dirty yesterday, so do not bet them.
All right, move on over to Revenge Bet there. On over to Brian. Sorry, that's Brian, not Brian.
Well, for me, yeah, home teams in a back-to-back spot are 10-5 this season. So yeah, give me the Nets plus the points there in that one. Love when the Nets give when we get some points with the Nets. I want to lay anything with the Nets. I was on Detroit yesterday, money line outright. They got the nice win there for us there against the Nets. Nets bounce back here. Everybody's thinking this is a revenge spot. I think the Nets roll in that one. The only one I like out of the two in the spot.
The only one. We got you on this spot, right, Brian?
Yep, you got
Yeah,
it.
you took the Heat.
I took the Miami Heat on the money line.
There we go. Just to remind everybody, because I threw you guys off there in the audience. All right, I'll tell you what I like in this game here. I'm going to take. I'll take care of the Grizzlies and the Nets over the total here. Brooklyn has shot the ball very well at home, but they're struggling defending that perimeter. We got John Morant, but he's got some guys around him. Aldama around him, Jaren Jackson around him. That's all he needs. Just give him two pieces, you'll get some points up there. Memphis averaging 115 points per 100 possessions. And Nets, believe it or not, also averaging 114 points per 100 possessions, but giving about 115 per 100. And boy, they've been shooting the ball well. The Grizzlies, 48% on the road, making their threes, but they're giving up threes on the road as well, allowing 40%. I'll look at them in this spot. I'm going to take here Miami in this game. The threes are not falling here for this Kings team this year. Miami has defended very well. Looking here at the Kings on the road, just over 29% from beyond the arc, giving up 38% from three is this Kings team on the road. So I'll look at Miami here, laying that point. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. Let's get to the next series of games from this 15-game card from the NBA. Up next, we will cover the Jazz and the Bulls. Bulls laying 8, total 229. Knicks and the Rockets. Knicks, a 2-point favorite, total 217.5. We'll take a quick scan here of the injury report to get you guys up to date here. We got Clarkson and Collier out for Utah. Markkanen is doubtful still. He was questionable earlier, now doubtful for Markkanen. On the Bulls side, Ball out, Levine questionable. Now we can add Giddey, Smith, and Williams to the probable list there. On the Houston side, Adams questionable. Achua and Robinson out for Knicks. We can now add Cameron Payne as doubtful. Late addition here. Cameron Payne doubtful here for the Knicks. We get this one underway here with Brian.
Oh, this slot here might be worse than the last slot. But again, if I had to pick a team, I'd probably take the Chicago Bulls minus 8.5. I just hate taking the Bulls when I'm not getting points. But I think they've covered 5 of the last 7 against the Utah Jazz. Jazz 3 non-covers in a row on the road. I like Utah at home, not on the road. I think the Bulls get a double-digit win tonight. I'll take Chicago.
Yeah, from Brian, we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, looking at this Houston line looks funny to me for whatever reason. And when the line looks funny to me, I think I'm gonna roll with the underdog. It's just a bucket. Put the money line on there with the Rockets. It's just a situation where I think at home they bring the defensive juice. The Knicks, as a team, they've gotten softer, with the addition of Karl Anthony Towns. I'm going to keep on repeating that, all season. It's going to, some games it's going to, look like he's a world beater. Other games, he's going to, be a 10-10 guy as opposed to a 20-10 guy. And, it's going to, I'm going to look like I'm a genius. I think this is one of these times, so look for their bigs to, get under Karl Anthony Towns' skin, and for the Rockets to get it outright.
Yeah, from Juwan up to Joey.
Yeah, so I like the Bulls here, laying the points. Jazz are honestly horrible. They're 1-4 against the spread their last 5, and 16-23 against the spread as a road dog in the last season. Bulls are 8-4 against the spread at home and playing on their second game in 5 days, and they've won 2 of their last 3. I like the Bulls laying the points here.
From Joey, up next is Rod.
Yeah, I'll take at that number now. I don't trust the Bulls to be covering 8. That's just too many. Road dogs this season, 31-18 on the season in the NBA. And at 8, I'll take the hold my nose and lean to the Jazz with all that boatload of point. I've seen the Bulls not cover giant numbers like that plenty of times. So give me the Jazz there in that one. And I like the under between the Knicks and Houston. I think that's going to be a slugfest battle type game. And the Rockets can play some defense, so give me the under. It was 219 down to 217. I think it's first to 100 wins that one. Do the under there.
Yeah, from Rod, say what I think about these games here. I'm going to go ahead and lay here with the Bulls in this spot. The Jazz, this team is just sloppy as hell. I mean, they after giving up 26 turnovers against San Antonio, the next game in Denver, they gave up 22, which is just horrible. They're averaging almost 20 turnovers per 48 minutes, which is a train wreck here, and minus 18.5 net rating. We do have the 2 worst offensive efficient teams in the NBA playing in this game. And consider how big this line is. It's very strange. Well, not very strange because how horrible Utah has been. I don't see it getting better, especially in a road spot here. You look at the Bulls, the one thing going for them is the perimeter. They make their threes, and they hold teams to 29% from three. And Utah not only are terrible offense, they're horrible defense. The Bulls can defend a little bit. They're 10th in defensive efficiency, so I'll go ahead and lay it with the Bulls. Knicks and Houston, that starting five for Knicks, if they're healthy, I'm going to be on them. Actually, no, I'm going to go over the total in this game, Knicks and Houston. The Rockets they shoot the ball better at home. They're not guarding the perimeter very well. 40% they're allowing from three, and that's dangerous against a Knicks team that's hitting 50% and 42% from three. The Knicks haven't defended a lick here this year, outscoring teams 49% they're allowing to their opponents. And they're third in efficiency offensively, 121 points per 100 possessions. And Houston, believe it or not, their offense is up here, 114 per 100 possessions. They're now 11th in offensive efficiency. That's something that's improved greatly from this Rockets team, so I'll go over in this one. All right, let's continue here on the drive through. We get set here for the next series of games here from the NBA, and we'll get to them for you right now. Next up, we have got the Hornets and T-Wolves. T-Wolves at 9.5, total 227. Magic and the Thunder. Thunder here, 12.5, total 218. There's going to be some injury news in these games here. Let's get them to you right now, let you know what's going on here in this Minnesota-Charlotte game. We've got Jeffries, Richards, and Williams out for Charlotte. Brandon Miller is questionable. Gobert questionable here for Minnesota. Of course, on the Orlando side, Banchero out. Wendell Carter, again, that knee tendonitis. He'll be out again here for Orlando. Hartenstein, Topic, Kendrick Williams, Jalen Williams with the Y out here for OKC. In that spot. So we'll get this one started here with Brian.
Yeah, in this grouping here, I'm going to take the Charlotte Hornets plus the points. Charlotte, a lot like the Detroit Pistons as far as teams that I'm going to really take a look at when they're getting a lot of points. Minnesota only one cover this year, and haven't played great straight up either. That's a boatload of points. I think Charlotte can keep this one within 2 possessions.
Yeah, from Brian. All right, we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, I'd like to take the under in the Orlando OKC game. Just too much production being missed. We seen it for the past couple games, and with this OKC defense, the way they roll, I don't know if they get to 90, let alone 100. We did see in the game against Portland how they ran it up and how they allowed the Trailblazers to score. So there is that. This is a relatively low total for the NBA and NBA standards nowadays. So, take it with a grain of salt. But, I think it's just going to be one of those games where I don't think the Thunder are going to put too much of a pounding on the Magic to run up the score like that. So I think it's going to be one of those deals where they drop 115, something like that. And, the Magic drop like 90 or something like that. Don't even sniff 100. So give me the under.
Under there from John. Over to Joey.
I like OKC here. Lay the points. Magic honestly have no offense without Banchero. They dropped just 85 their last game. OKC's on fire right now. They're 2-0 against the spread against the Eastern Conference this year, and 4-1 against the spread their last 5. Lay the points at OKC here with confidence.
There from Joey. Move on over to Rod.
Yeah, I like OKC here, laying the points as well. I think we're almost all in consensus on that one. 117-92 final I got there in that one. And with the Charlotte game, I'm going to take Charlotte plus all those points. They didn't get the nickname the House of Disappointment for a good reason there in Minnesota. So for me, Minnesota probably wins the game, but not by the 9.5. Charlotte's been a scrappy bunch all season. Give me the Hornets plus the 9.5 of that one.
There from Rod. All right, I'll tell you what I think about these games here tonight. In these series of games, let's take a look here at them. I'm going to go ahead and agree there. Take the Charlotte here plus the 10. Charlotte, boy, their offense has picked up 6th in offensive efficiency this year, 115 points per 100 possessions. T was 13th in offensive efficiency, about 114 per 100 possessions. Both teams turn the ball over, but I like the way Charlotte, they make their threes on the road 40%. And we're just not seeing that lockdown defense here from Minnesota that we saw last season, right? They were just one of the best defensive teams at home. It's not showing up yet. So I'll look at the points here. I'm with Javon here. Orlando's going to have trouble scoring this game. I like the under in this spot. I ran the numbers without Banchero the last 2 games. Magic 29th in offensive efficiency, averaging 96 points per 100 possessions. A minus 16 net rating in those 2 games without Banchero. Boy, OKC is making their opponents look like college teams because they're allowing 39% shooting from the floor, 30% from 3. That's what college teams, good college defenses do. So the way OKC's playing defense, they're making NBA teams look like college teams. So I'll look here at the under in that one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through. As we get ready for the next series of games from this 15-game card, we'll continue on here with Trailblazers and Pelicans. Pelicans 2.5 now, total 219. Some injury news to update you on this one. Pacers and Mavericks. We've got the Mavs 5.5, total 237. Okay, let's take a look at the injury report. There's been some movement. There's been some news here in this one involving the Portland game. So let's go Portland game here. We've got for Trailblazers, Sharp and Thibault are out. Williams is probable in this game. On the Pelicans side, the usuals here: Jones, McCollum, Murphy, Murray out. But now we can add Hawkins questionable. We can now add Zion questionable to the injury list. So Zion hits the injury list as questionable tonight for New Orleans. Didn't really move the line too much. So that's the news there with New Orleans. In the Indiana Pacers and the Dallas Maverick game, well, Exum and Cleaver, while they're both out as usual for Dallas. Nesmith out for Indiana. Nembhard has been upgraded to questionable. So Nembhard questionable here for this Indiana Pacers. Seems iffy with that knee is what they've called it here for Nembhard. So we'll wait and see if he's able to come in. There you go. Caught the injury news updated. So let's get this one underway here with Brian.
Yeah, in this grouping here, I think I'll take the Portland Trailblazers plus the points. Line looks a little bit fishy to me. I know New Orleans on a back-to-back spot, but Portland's played improved on defense. Just not a great offensive team are the Blazers, but they are 4-1-1 against the number over their last 6, 1-5 for the Pelicans against the spread. I think Portland upsets the Pelicans, but I'm still going to take that 2.5 points.
There from Brian, we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, the way New Orleans is playing, it doesn't seem like it would be much of an upset. So, with that said, I'm on Portland as well. I'm right along with Brian. You know, get that plus 115, plus 120, whatever it is. In that one, you know, it's just the question marks on, you know, on the who's going to be on the court. You know, the way they're playing, just things aren't right over in New Orleans. So, give me the Trailblazers. And I want to back the Pacers. You know, this is a team, you know, high octane offense. You know, they all playing a substantially good defense in Dallas, but Dallas can have lags, you know, on the offensive front. And you know, if Luka's, you know, playing Ole Luka's defense, he can get 8 and live. So if Indiana hitting their threes, you know, getting open runs to the basket, I think they got a shot in outright and also. So not to say that that's going to happen or anything, but I would like to have my money on Indiana. Not a strong pick at all, but that's the way I would look at this.
There from Javon, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, I'm with Javon here. I like the Pacers. Might be a little bit of a homer pick, but they need a big win tonight. They've lost 4 out of 5. And Mavs played last night, and I typically enjoy fading teams on a back-to-back. Similar to what Javon said, the Pacers definitely have a good offensive team. They have a lot of weapons, and they can go off at any moment. Give me the points with the Pacers.
There from Joey. Next up, we move on over to Ron.
Yeah, I can't do that. You look, the Pacers have come into Dallas, their last 2 trips into Dallas, and got the win outright there. So I think this is a revenge spot. They're like, hey, this is our gym. You're not coming in here and beating us 3 straight. No chance in that one. I also got a trend with teams that whoop up and win by 10 plus in the previous game at home. They are 63 and 29 ATS the following game after a nice double-digit win at home. So I think Dallas comes to play here in this one. We've seen the Pacers at times go ice cold and shoot bricks from 3-point land. That's what I expect here tonight. Lay it with Dallas in that one. And then I like the under Portland. taking on New Orleans in that one. Low scoring one, first to 100 type game. It's a 219.5. It was a 223. He's worked his way down for good reason. A bunch of guys out. First to 100 wins that one. Take the under 219.5 there. Portland, New Orleans.
Yeah, from Ron. I tell you what I think of this game. I'm going to take New Orleans up. If I'm going to get Portland on the road, I need more than 2 points or 2.5. It just Portland is just a team that just can't. They're a more shooting team here on the road. 39%, 33% from three. New Orleans can shoot the ball a lot better at home. 45%, 35% from three. There are some quality. I know there's injuries out here, but there are some quality guys here still on the court here for this Pelicans team here in Alvarado, Ingram on the court here. So let's see what we got off the bench tonight here for this Pelicans team. Boy, not a whole lot. So we need big games from Alvarado and Ingram here because their bench is. Well, no, you got somebody here. You got Javonte Green, Brandon, and Thies coming off the bench. So they against Portland, and New Orleans at home, I feel more confident there. Just this is their third game, right? They had that home and homes game last week there. So I did spot something wrong with that team in that 2-game series because Portland outplayed them, but plus 10 net rating in those 2 games, which really what's going on with this Pelicans team? We're starting to see what's happening here with them. But again, if Portland's on the road, I need more than 2, more than 2.5. All right, well, look here at this Pacers-Dallas game. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and lay it here with Dallas. These are the slow Pacers. I know Joey could probably attest this. Where are the Pacers that we knew and love that run up and down that court? This slow Pacer team has fallen back to 25th in offensive efficiency, 111 points per 100 possessions. Not playing as fast as they did. I don't know what's going on. Maybe when they keep losing, Carlisle will say, okay, guys, we're going back to that fast pace that we saw last year. But, of course, they burned out at the end of the season. So maybe they're going to do that slow pace game until we get to the playoffs. We'll see what they do here. But the Mavs do a better job of securing the basketball. Indiana on the road, they're not making their threes. This is a 3-point shooting league. If you can't make your threes, you're going to lose games. 32% from 3 on the road. And Dallas is playing some defense this year, holding teams at 43%. So we'll look here at Dallas in this spot. All right, let's continue here on in the drive-thru. We're going to close out the NBA with these final 3 games here on the schedule. And next up to close out the NBA will be the Raptors and the Nuggets. Nuggets now back up to 11 now, total 230.5. 76ers and Suns. The Suns laying 7 here, total 225.5. Spurs and Clippers. Clippers 4, total 214.5. No Popovich in this game. The assistant coach will take over. Popovich dealing with some medical issues there. That's all that's been reported. Let's take a look at the injury list here in this game. In these games here for Toronto, usual suspects here is Barnes, Brown, Olenek out, quickly doubtful. Concard doubtful. Murray still out with that concussion. Gordon hits it in the injury report as probable. On the Sixers side, Embiid out. George looks like he's going to give it a go. He's probable on the report, but he just has to go through pregame warmups, and all signs are that he will play in this game, but still probable on the report. We'll see how he feels after the warmups, but it looks like he's a go here. Beal still questionable here on the Phoenix Suns side. Spurs and the Clippers are usual guys for the Spurs, Vassell and Jones. On the Clippers side, usual guys, Bamba, Leonard, and Tucker there. So let's get this one underway with these 3 games with Brian.
I'll tell you what, I like the San Antonio Spurs plus the points. The Spurs join the Hornets and the Pistons are teams that are really going to take a close look at when they're getting points. We had seen 3 straight covers for the Spurs, 4 of the last 5. Clippers, 3 straight non-covers. I just like the way San Antonio's playing. I'm going to take the points with them over the Clips.
There from Brian, we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, so the Raptors, they just keep covering. It's really just a situation for me where as long as they're playing hard, as long as RJ Barrett is, he's playing like a man possessed, I have no choice but to be on them. And meanwhile, Denver, they're just, they're doing what they do. Did they get the win last night or
beat Utah,
last
right?
game? Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they got
Utah.
it, and they got it in a big way. So, do they keep it going, or do they regress and just go through the motions and rely on the Joker? I think they try to rely on the Joker once again, and Toronto is in line for the cover. Not to say that they're going to win anything like that, like they did the last game, but you know, I only want my money on Toronto in this early portion of the season. I was on Denver for the second hour back-to-back playing up against Minnesota too, so got my fingers on the pulse in that one, on this particular team, and I think tonight I got them pegged again. So looking at the Philly game, Paul George is coming. Let's see what happens. I mean, this has been a pretty down season so far for Philly. The fans aren't liking it all there, and in true Philadelphia fashion, they're letting the players know about it. So will Paul George play a significant role in turning this thing around without the services of Joel Embiid? Up against a team like the Suns, who they're a jump shooting team. They don't really like going inside in the lane or anything like that. They like making high degree of difficulty type of shots. I think they'll be in line for a cover. So I'm more Philly in that one. Little injection of production with Paul George.
There from Javon, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the Clippers game in this spot, and I like the over 214. This number has really been steamed down. It was at 218 earlier this morning. Now it's at 214. The Clippers have allowed 105 and 125 their last two games. Spurs have scored 113 and 106. I don't know. I think this one goes over, and this number dropped way too much.
There from Joey. Now up to Rock.
Yeah, and I'm with Brian. I like the Spurs plus the points versus the Clippers there in that one. As we see, low total is going to come right down to who's got the ball last. So having those points is where you want to be. Give me the Spurs plus the 4 in that one. And then for me, I'm going to – everybody's we've seen what the Raptors did in the earlier game between these two teams, which was just last week. It needed overtime. Denver got the win. And this follows the same system, as I said, to home teams that won by double digits in their previous game. They continue to pound at home, 63 and 29 ATS. So give me the Nuggets. I think they whoop it up on the Raptors there tonight. It's just one of those spots I think they come in flat, as I said earlier today. Raptors are enjoying. Remember, this is a Canadian team, so what are they doing in Denver? Enjoying a little pop pass instead. So they'll be not as motivated coming into Denver for this one. I think Denver pounds by 15-20 in that one, because the Raptors were a little bit too preoccupied. Trying to tank a little. You got to tank some. You definitely don't want to be winning all these games and be stuck with these same boatload of guys. You need some. You got to do some tanking as the Raptors team to get better. So this is one of those spots that they purely tank, as everybody thinks the Raptors are going to cover, because they continue to cover, but not here. Nuggets big.
It says Nuggets big there. I say they're going to try and build some trade value. So I'm going to look here at the Toronto here at plus the 10 in this one. I'm not going to lay double digits with a team that's not in the top 10 defense. In Denver here, 15th in defensive efficiency. I know Toronto has their issues defensively as well, with the Raptors shooting over nearly 48% from the floor. Nuggets have struggled from the field. Again, 41% overall, but they're only 35% three. These teams that aren't making their threes having struggles this year. Raptors are the best rebounding team in the league. Some will say, yeah, they miss a lot of shots, but they're grabbing the boards on the defensive end, and that's what a scrappy team does. These teams are, they know their minutes are limited when these guys come back, so they're trying to basically earn minutes when the starters come back healthy. So look at Toronto there plus. I'll go under in Philly and Phoenix under 226. Philadelphia really struggling in the offensive end. I don't know what Paul George how much he can impact in his first game back. I don't think he'll be that effective personally. Philadelphia 27th in offensive efficiency. The Suns are playing defense this year. Why not? Budenholzer is the head coach, right? That's what he does. Is he makes teams better defensively. Suns allowing just 107 points per 100 possessions. Sixers play also at a slow pace this year. Why? Because they don't have their scorers out there, right? So it takes longer to get shots off. That's the one thing here I like here with the under in that spot. 76ers just 31% from three. Here we go with these teams not making threes again. And the Suns only teams at 43%. I'll go there with the under there. Spurs and Clippers, I'm going to go under because these are two teams that are playing at a slow pace, and these are two teams that can't make threes. The Spurs 32%, the Clippers 33%. So give me under in these two. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we continue here on our show. Now we're going to move to our college basketball segment. We're going to do now, probably until we get to the end of college football season. If there's these big cards, we're just going to ask the cappers what they got. All right, what they got, give it to us from college basketball. I know there's 100+ games early in the afternoon. We're probably a little down to 80 or so, but just give us what you got in college hoops. That's what we'll call this segment right here. So let's get underway here with this segment and give us what you got, Brian.
I'll give you what I got, and that's just one solid free college basketball winner. I'm going to take UCF plus the 6.5 points here against Texas A&M. A&M coming in ranked, I believe, 13th in the country. I just think they're a little bit overrated. I think it's a one-possession win here for Texas A&M at UCF. But they're going to be better this season. I think that's 6.5 here with A&M. I'm going to take the 6.5 with the UCF.
There we go from Brian. Your Temple Owls are sweating this one against Sacred Heart there, Brian.
Right. They're going to lose outright. Temple live bet that one.
Down 4 with 12 minutes left here and making the front end of the making their free throw down 3 there. Give us what you got, Javon, college hoops.
Man, I got a whole lot in college basketball, but I'm just going to key in on one game. Not a game that's supposed to be a blowout, not one of those big point spread ones. We're going to go with one that was played last year, the Missouri Tigers versus the Memphis Tigers, and that was a 70-55 win by Memphis. Missouri retooled this year after a down season. It was supposed to be, preseason last year. They were looking up, but they fell, off the face of the earth. But they retooled, hit the transfer portal hard. Got some production on that squad that I think can make some hay. I'm going to take a shot with the Missouri Tigers in this one to get some get back from last year's 15-point loss. At least cover the spread, if not win outright.
Yeah, from Javon. All right, let's go over to Joey, college hoops. With Joey, give us what you got.
I have 4 premium spots, but I like 2 spots that were leans. It's Siena plus 2.5. They have a new coach, which is a great start for a new season. McNamara was a former assistant at Syracuse, and Brown struggled a lot in non-conference play last season, so definitely snagged the points with Siena here. And then the other one I like is Missouri plus 4.5 against Memphis. Penny Hardaway's team lost a lot of scorers here, and Missouri dug deep in the transfer portal and has a really nice recruiting class, so I really like Missouri to stay within 4.5 points here at Memphis.
Yeah, from Joey, let's go over to college hoops with Rod. Give us what you got.
And for me, my first one, I'm going to go against the early opening number 1 ranked Kansas City Jayhawks. What are they, 27 points you're laying with the Jayhawks now? That's too many. Way too many. I'm going to go the other way on that one. Kansas wins that game, but are they ready to all of a sudden come out and go firing and blow somebody up by 30? No, I don't think so. You look at what Howard did last season, and they're returning some guys from a couple stars from last season. Kansas returning a couple guys, but Kansas, they always load up, so they've got that number 1 seed as you see what we see from them on the floor, and they didn't score more than they averaged 79.9 points. And you look what Howard did on the road, and they averaged 73 points, and now you got to expect to go 30. I just don't see it. That's just too many points there in that one. I'll take Howard plus the 27 points in that one. I also like Bellarmine plus the 21.5 in that one. Just too many there in that matchup. And then the other one I like, you look at Western Kentucky taking on Wichita. This is one of those. It's a 1 point. -1 with Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky at home is absolutely lights out. They've won, 12 straight at home? Give me Western Kentucky over Wichita in that one.
Yeah, from Rod, I'll give you what I got. I got one here, keeping it close to home here, UCLA and Ryder. I'm going to go ahead and lay it with UCLA. UCLA returns 4 starters from last season, but those guys are going to the bench because head coach Mick Cronin picked up some NIL program this offseason, brought in some money, drew some talent into the school. They look really good in their exhibition game against Cal State LA. Ryder returns 2 starters back from a team that was eliminated in the Metro Atlantic first-round tournament last year. The Bronx have really struggled with inside scoring and turning the ball over. They had blowout losses in the non-conference in Maryland and Marquette by 27 or greater points. They were 321st in the nation in three-pointers made last season. They didn't take too many. and you're going to have to against UCLA because they're just stronger inside. And they have to replace their score, so I'll go ahead and take UCLA in this one, laying the points against Ryder Bronx on FS1. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we now will transition to the 2 games from the National Hockey League tonight. 2 games scheduled here, beginning momentarily. So let's go ahead and get to those games right now. Kings and Predators. 8 Eastern time, so we've got some time here. Kings and Predators will be one of them. And the other game on the board tonight will be the Devils at the Rods. Oilers here. Devils, $1.33, 6.5. Let's get started with Brian.
No, I'm going to have to take a pass on this one. I'm pulling a Ruffalo.
Ruffalo,
the other one's a premium play for me.
All right, then we'll jump on over to Joey.
Yeah, so I have a premium on the Devils-Oilers game, but for the Kings and the Preds, I like the Predators here. Kings have really struggled as a road underdog, and the Predators have really favored well as a home favorite here. Predators are starting to pick up some pace and are starting to score. I don't know. I like the Predators with the value here.
Yep, the Kings beat a lot of bad teams on that first that 7-game road trip there. No doubt about that one. Followed them closely. On over to Rod.
Well, yeah, Nashville's beaten one of those bad teams at home. They've struggled mightily at home, has Nashville, especially against Western Conference opponents. What do they got? 1 win in their last 9 games at home versus a Western Conference opponent. Kings want to start this road trip with a win. First half of a back-to-back for the Kings as well. I would lean to the Kings to get the win there. And you look what the Oilers have done. McDavid, sure, no McDavid for the last couple games, but they've stepped up defensively. Next man up. And we've seen Picard, and it is a back-to-back spot for the Oilers. You look, the Oilers 0-4 in that back-to-back spot, so they have struggled at this spot, but not defensively, especially at home in this one. I like the under 6.5. Low scoring 1 between the Devils and Oilers. First of 3 wins that one. Take the under 6.5.
We're seeing a half there from Rod. First to 3 are now. It is time for our parlay segment, peripheral segment, where the cappers choose what they want to give out. Do they want to give a parlay? Do they want to give peripheral out there? Future from NFL college football. We leave it up to the cappers. So let's go ahead and let's get this segment here underway here with Brian.
An extra pick I'd like to give out. I'm going to take the Phoenix Suns here, lay the points against the Sixers. Sixers just aren't right yet until Joel Embiid gets back. I don't think there's any reason to be betting. I'm this line up to 7.5 now. That's a ton of points. I think they're trying to tempt you on to Philly, but they're not going to get me to bite. I think the Suns beat the Sixers by double digits tonight.
There from Brian, we move on over to Javon.
We'll put together a parlay on some underdogs, strictly underdogs in this one. We're going to roll with Mizzou, just like I gave out. We are going to roll with Morehead State. We're going to roll with Southern Indiana. And one more, Linscomb. We're going to roll with Linscomb. So, 4-teamer. If you want to, divide it into two teamers, I would take the 2 short dogs, put those together. That would be Missouri and Linscomb. As a matter of fact, you want to do those 2 money line plays, do that as well, because I think both of those teams.
Go there. I lost Javon for a sec there. There from Javon. Next, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, I like Nico Hischier to score tonight. He's got 5 goals his last 4 games. He didn't score last game, but he scored in the 4 games prior. Again, Nico Hischier to score tonight.
From Joey on to Rod.
We're going to go to NBA. We're going to take the Heat on the money line, lay it with OKC, and lay it with Dallas. 3-teamer.
3-teamer then from Rod. I'll say what I like here. I'm going to go Pistons plus the points, Heat laying the points, Magic, Thunder under the total. Let's find out what the cappers have for sale over at Pick Dogs. We're heading into a huge week of action. Many sports overlapping. NBA, college hoops, NHL up there, NFL, college football. Let's take a look over it with Brian right now. See what he has for sale over at Pick Dogs Premium. Brian enjoying a great year in 2024. 1,225 units profit. What do you got for sale?
And my best bet tonight is in the NFL Monday Night Football game. I'm on a titanium run of 20 and 12, 63%. Get that NFL winner for $25 at pickdogs.com. Also have an NHL money shot play, $30. I know me and Rod tearing up the NHL. I also have an NBA President's Choice play, so make sure you guys check that out over at pickdogs.com.
Yeah, Temple on a massive run, turning a 5-point deficit to an 8-point lead right now. So Temple, a good 4 minutes of basketball right now. Let's ask Javon what he's got for sale over at Pick Dogs. Javon, in college football's been red hot.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of action going. Hit my first college basketball player of the year earlier today, and I got 7 more on tap. So, yeah, I go hard on day one in college basketball. That's just how I play it. With 114 games on the slate, man, I have no choice but to. And I'm kind of light, as far as I'm concerned, because if I had the time, I would have put in 20 plays. Let's just say that, because I like a lot. And these are the times where you have to take advantage because, they're not going to cap all these games. These odds makers are not going to, get all these games right. It's a lot of soft lines out there, so take it for what it's worth. I got a five pack in college basketball. I got a 3-pack in one in the NFL game, one in the NBA game, and one college basketball game. Then I got a bunch of the NFL, that Monday Night Football one, and NBA. So yeah, got a whole bunch of action going.
Yeah, from John, get on board with Javon. It's been red hot. Lots of action on the board tonight from Javon. Huge card, a lot of great primetime games tonight from college hoops as well. NBA big card, 15-game card as well. Let's go on over to Ross, see what he's got for sale over at Pick Dogs Premium.
And for me, over at Pick Dogs Premium, I got you covered in tonight's NHL action, an NHL sniper play. I've got a play in the Monday Night Football game. I got a college basketball play up there as well, so definitely jump aboard something over there. But best bet is to grab something long term. We got so much action this week loading up with college hoops. You got NBA, you got NHL, NFL's right around the corner. College football's back at it tomorrow. So definitely take advantage of that 2-for-1 capper promotional. Pair me up with another one of the hot handicappers you see at Big Dogs. And hey, you have 2 cappers putting money in your pocket. Can't go wrong with that. 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 4-for-1 capper promotional. This time of year, so many cappers that are hot and so much sports going on. Your best bet is to go long term. Saves you money from buying all them turn packages individually. Games here, games there, games there. When you get it on something long term and you get everything going, as Johan says, he's loaded today. So if you only buy one, you might just happen to get that one that is the loser in the bunch, and you miss out on those other 6 that make you have a winning day. So that's the difference from long-term to buying packages individually. You're trying to pick and guess where the winners are going to be when we're trying to go long-term with a massive amount of picks and just have a winning day with all those picks. It's better to go long-term than it is to pick individually.
Long-term was the way to go, guys. Now we're right over at Pick Dogs. Take a look at Joey, see what he's got for sale over at Pick Dogs. Joey's been hot over the last 7.
Yeah, I got 3 college basketball plays, 2 NBA, and 1 NHL. Had a really good weekend. Really excited for college basketball. Hoping to get a hot start there. Use the code PICK for 15% off any of those plays.
So I get on board with Joey over at Pick Dogs Premium. I've got a best bet on the board right now from NFL, sitting top unit leader here over at Pick Dogs. NFL this year also having an NBA, a single play up there for you right now going on. So get on board with me or get those long-term passes. You guys like that 7-day all sports pass? Get all my NFL for this week with that 7-day pass. Also my college football. Action returns tomorrow. We also have a lot of NBA college hoops in that period of time. Remember the promo code PICK saves you at 15% off. Multi-cap promotion. You can match me up with any of your favorite cappers. Save even more. All right. Let's find out what the cappers have over on the YouTube channel. We got over at Pick Dogs, a great YouTube channel, over 200K subscribers because lots of great content on the site. Let's ask Brian. Brian, what do you got over on the Pick Dogs YouTube channel now and this week?
Every day I got my sharp betting contrarian predictions on the YouTube channel, Pick Dogs YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. Also, I'll be on Sunday hanging out with Jay and Javon and whoever else shows up talking NFL football.
Javon, I know you put together a video series up there. We'll find some parlays from you.
Yeah, per usual. I got another one up tonight. Check that out. It might have already went off the board. There are a couple college basketball ones. So, yeah, every day there'll be something to be up for the most part. So, yeah, check it out.
Take it out there from Javon. Joey, I know you put together up the NASCAR as well over on Kick Dogs.
Yeah, we have one last race this Sunday coming up. I'll drop the video a little bit earlier because I'm going away for the weekend, so I'll probably drop a late Wednesday night. But yeah, final race. Can't believe it's over.
That's right. Coming down to the final race here. Rod, when are you on the drive-through?
For me, this week it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. This week on the drive-thru, so definitely tune in, and we'll get you some winners this week on the drive-thru.
Rod's some winner on the drive-through. Right, that's gonna do it for the show, guys. Before we go, anybody have anything in closing before we shut the show down for today?
Hurricanes stink.
Get it?
Get it. There we go.
Get it.
All right.
Kickstart the week winner.
Big time now with all these sports overlapping, guys. Keep an eye here. We'll be here Monday through Friday. Back again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Coverage here again from no NBA tomorrow. We'll have NHL on the board. We'll have action in action as well as college hoops. So that's going to do it for the show. We'll wait. Goodbye, guys. You guys make it.